a chance to talk to some of the guys you were with at Buffalo, especially Coach Leipold, Coach Borland. It seems like you have a lot of trust with some of those guys on that staff. And I'm just curious, could you kind of talk through maybe first impressions going back that you had with Coach Leipold and how you kind of built up that goodwill and trust and relationships with those guys?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think as everybody knows, trust takes some time to develop. There has to be full buy-in, and I think that we're in line, we're aligned philosophically in what we believe is required to be successful. The day-to-day contact or the day-to-day improvement is something that we're going to be, very adamant on, that we have to get better every day. We got to take small steps. This is not going to be a fast fix. I think we fully understand that, and we embrace that, quite honestly, because to me, to us, by doing it with consistency, it's gonna allow us to be consistent, if that makes sense. So I just think over the course of time that you work enough with these guys and them with me, that we really find that we're aligned philosophically, and it helps promotes that trust that we all want to operate under.
Mm-hmm. When Coach Leipold was coming to Kansas, and I'm sure talking to people about who he was going to be able to bring with him, what were those conversations like, and how quickly did you decide you were going to go with him?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, again, because you're around somebody long enough, I think that there was Coach Leipold's a loyal guy. He has some loyalty to those that are loyal to him, and I think we've been able to show that over the course of the 6 years, and in some cases on our staff years before that. I did not come directly to Buffalo with Coach Leipold, but I did have a 1 year experience with him prior to that, so there was at least a known commodity there in terms of who I was as a person, and those are the things that are very important to him. It didn't take me any time to say, yeah, I want to come with you, quite honestly. Because of the people that I'm working with, but B, the challenge that presents here at Kansas is something very intriguing to me. So excited to be here, excited to be able to take advantage of the opportunity, and I think I had a strong idea that Coach was going to ask me to join him. Under what role would I serve? Maybe not knowing that, but I think it was a matter of, yeah, he would ask me to come with, and of course I was definitely all on board when he did ask me to.
Thank you.
Hey, Chris, how's it going, man?
Good.
Hey, I want to ask you a little bit about just kind of the personnel you guys have at linebacker heading into this preseason, just maybe what you've learned about that group and kind of where you think you guys are at.
Well, it's hard because I quite honestly, with the exception of just watching film of what they had done previously and not taking into account anything schematically. I mean, football, at the end of the day, there's taking on blocks, there's getting off of blocks, there's running, there's tackling. All that stuff is going to be consistent regardless of the scheme. So able to see some of those types of things, but I have not seen it myself. And obviously that's a unique challenge going into this season, is that we aren't going to get that opportunity. But I can say that the want to is there, the desire to learn, the desire to know, the desire to absorb whatever it is that we're trying to get done, whether it's schematically or, just within the culture that we're trying to build here. I'm pleased with the progress of the room as far as that goes. Now, we have been able to work with them a little bit and just watch them move around anyways. And I would say that there's just certain things, some small things that we can do to improve and make some strong improvements just in some of the ways we're going to go about it. And we are teachers, we are educators in terms of the game, in terms of techniques, and we do want to be very fundamentally sound with everything that we're doing. And that's how we feel we're going to get better daily, is by doing those types of things. So I'm pleased with the group because they want to. They do. It has yet to be seen what it is that they will be able to produce on the field with my own eyes anyways.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of referenced the uniqueness of the situation where, obviously you guys didn't have spring football at all because you came in after it. But do you see any possible advantages to heading into the preseason with this unique situation that you might have maybe has surprised you or anything like that?
Well, I guess because the guys really they are absorbing things right now. The ability to, once we do get going, to be able to see that daily progress that we're striving for. There could be a very big learning curve because of that. The way we're trying to present this to the guys right now is that by the time we take an actual rep of football, every installation that we've put in, and we've tried to get at least the nuts and bolts of things in, it will be the third time that they've actually had it installed prior to taking an actual rep of football. So every time they get something presented to them, if it's the second time, third time, you hope that they absorb just a little bit more so that we can kind of hit the ground running. But it's extremely challenging, and I guess I don't have a great answer to what the upside is to that, other than we'll see.
So. Yeah, maybe there is no upside.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you also a little bit about Rich Miller, obviously a guy that you know, and what have you learned about him the past couple of years that you like? What do you think he can bring to that group this year?
Well, yeah, I think first off, I know Rich Miller as an athlete and a person. I do think that he has some versatility. At least he did for us at the other place. He doesn't have a ton of stats, quite honestly. And to be quite frank, I had a pretty veteran group in Buffalo, and I had some really good players. In my opinion, they were really good players. Not just players, but who they were as leaders, who they were as individuals. And Rich was one of those. He did play. He was in rotational roles. But I think what was appealing to him is the number of who he was as a person, like I said. But he also has a lot of time left to be able to showcase what he can do. And I'm encouraged by what he's done since he's been here. And I just know what I know about who he is as a player and a person. And I'm excited for him to have the opportunity to compete as well. In the Big 12, just like I'm excited about our staff to be able to prove ourselves. Well, I'm excited for him to be able to prove himself as well.
Do you see him and some of those other guys from Buffalo kind of acclimating well now they've been here a little bit and kind of getting used to the surroundings and all that?
I do. Again, they're good people first and foremost, which it makes it easy to assimilate when you're a good person. But it does go beyond that. I think they have been able to show that they have some athletic ability as well into what they're doing in the weight room, what they're doing out on the field, movement wise. Again, just like I haven't seen any of the guys, the former KU players play football. Well, none of those KU players have seen these Buffalo guys play football. So it's a blended family as far as that part goes. And I think they really are doing a good job of doing that. And I've encouraged, especially the guys in the linebacker room, hey, make sure you use Rich Miller as a resource. We really had an atmosphere where it was player-led, and that's what we want to get accomplished here as well, that everybody's in it to help each other. It's competitive, but it's competitive in a way that we're trying to get us better, both individually and collectively. So he really does know the defense. He knows the calls. He really could play any three of the linebacker positions, which is more reasons with versatility. It was more reasons why I thought it would be of benefit if he wanted to pursue something like that, and he put himself in the portal. That's what's said. If he's out there, then let's try to see if he wants to join us.
Thanks.
Hey, Chris, just one from me. I just wanted the 5,000-foot view. You guys have been through this before with other programs. What's the blueprint for 3 or 4 years down the line for this to look like what you guys want it to look like?
I think our blueprint is of high accountability, of development, of that term culture is a buzzword that gets used frequently, but I would truly say that it is not just words on a wall for us. It is something that we believe. It is something that we preach. It's something that we live, and it's daily. And I think I promise you, we will get buy-in, because it's just how culture works. Eventually, when things get hard, the culture takes over, and the buy-in will take place. It's just a matter of how quickly and who truly wants to do that, because eventually this will be an uncomfortable place to be if you're not bought in. I've said that to the linebackers, and when given the opportunity to talk to the team, I said something along those lines to the team, that and not in a negative way. It's just, hey, listen, this is how we do things. We're going to be developmental. We're going to be on time. We're going to give great effort. We're going to be coachable. Those are things that Coach Leipold preaches daily. And in terms of our culture, being, it's just who we are. It's who we are, who we're going to be. And 4 or 5 years from now, it'll be a player-led program that wants to be special in every way, not just on the field, but off the field.
You guys have any other questions for Coach?
Hey, real quickly, obviously you guys are kind of doing a lot of things on the fly, but how do you feel like it's gone with your early recruiting efforts?
I think it's gone good. Again, I think it's challenging because with COVID and how the roster is here right now, and it's gonna be a small 22 class, I think, in terms of the numbers. So you really do have to find the right positions, but also the right people within the positions. I think that's something that we did a really good job of at our last place was we had to find Buffalo kind of guys. You had to want to play for Buffalo, not just at Buffalo. And quite honestly, when we got there, I think there were some guys that it's just where they were at, not we weren't playing for them. It was just I was just playing at Buffalo. So we are going to make a concerted effort to find people that want to be part of this thing, that want to be part of the build. And I think we did find a couple of guys that are excited about that, and we will continue to do that as we go. This first class is it's going to be a small class just because of the numbers and where we're at within our roster and the NCAA limitations that we have. But I feel good about where we're at, and certainly feel good about where we're heading.
Yeah, if I could just jump in on that too, really for the last 6 or 7 years here, that 85 number for scholarships has been such a big kind of sticking point of just getting back to it. With the extra year for COVID and all that stuff, are you guys anticipating being at that by the end of the 2022 cycle?
Yeah, I think there could be some fluctuation there, but I think that's always going to be the goal, and some of that is above my head, quite honestly. Whether it's administrative or head coach, general manager, those types of things. But I think that would be the goal. The challenge, Scott, really is that we need to get our roster back balanced up within the 85, because there are certain areas that were really heavy in terms of scholarship numbers, and then certain areas positionally that were really low. So that's another thing that we really try to do a good job of. There might be fluctuation from year to year where maybe you're one over at this position or one under at that position, but the goal is always to try to get back to being even at each position. And that's something that's going to take a little bit of time as well, because at least for our schemes and how we see it, I'm not saying that it was done wrong in the past. It's just not balanced in terms of how we see it within our program right now as it exists.
Yeah. And then this is kind of maybe a tough one to answer, but I was talking to someone who covered you guys at Buffalo. And when I was just asking about the assistants up there, they mentioned that you were someone they saw kind of, having the potential down the line to be a college head coach or take on more and more responsibility. I'm just curious, I'm sure you have probably those aspirations for yourself, but have you envisioned what you think your future in college coaching could look like in that regard?
I have. I would always say, I appreciate you saying that, but I always used to say, no, I wouldn't want to be a head coach because I want to coach football. I want to work with a position. I want to work on a side of the ball. I want to stay, both feet in as far on that wave. But I also think as I get older that is something that certainly intrigues me, because over time you start seeing what you do like and what you don't like, what you would do, what you wouldn't do. And quite honestly, I've worked for some pretty good head coaches that have been good mentors to me, and in many instances I would try to emulate as a head coach, and Lance Leipold is certainly one of those. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't want to put the cart before the horse here, but you can make an argument that I'm working for a Hall of Famer right now. And to me, that's a special thing. And to be able to take some things that I've learned from him and some of the other guys that I've worked with and worked for, that's certainly very intriguing to me. But at the end of the day, it's a matter of staying where your feet are at and doing a heck of a job of the job that you do have, and let opportunities present as they may, and take it as they come. But yeah, that is something that would intrigue me. Yes.